Good evening, good morning, good day, good night from wherever you're watching us from. Everyone from Korea, China, Uzbekistan, Bangladesh, where else? We've received a lot of messages. West Africa, East Africa, South Africa, Central Africa, North Africa, Egypt, Morocco, all those places. Welcome to Marriage Talks Season 3. I hope you've been having an amazing time with the panel. They have been amazing. And remember what we promised in the beginning. They are full of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in things to do with marriage. They're not only talking, they're walking the talk as well. And so welcome once again, panel. It's been great to have you back. It's so great to have you back. We've been receiving massive feedback about the impact, the kind of impact we put into this season. And we thank God, Pastor Pauline and Peter, for allowing us this opportunity for us to be here. Marriage Talks began with Peter and P, and we've seen it expand to this amazing panel, and we just want to bless God for that. Once again, we are joined by the Wairias. Would you just say hi once again? It will be very important.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining and tuning in, and hope you learn one thing or two.
All right. Next to them, we have our pastors, and we just celebrated our anniversary this loving month, so we just want to say thank you. We are seeing an amazing program. Well, pastors, say hi to the people.
Thank you so much. It's another privilege, another opportunity just to come into your spaces and to your places, and it's always good to share the word of God. And I believe that there are some few things you have learned in this series that it will help you to make your marriage more better and more successful. So thank you for allowing us to come into your life, into your spaces.
Hi everybody, I'm Pauline, Peter's wife. I'm just amused how you hesitated.
I didn't hesitate, by the way. It was those natural things when they...
Thank you so much for tuning in, and God bless you.
Yeah, and on our extreme, we have the amazing Mushurious family. Yeah. Naomi, you want to go first? Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in this hour. I promise you that you are in for a great time. Welcome all.
Glory.
Yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. It's nice to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So when the quiet one says we're in go for a good time, just know we're in for a good time. Oh, we love poking her because she's very quiet. So we love poking her. Welcome, team. And tonight we have an amazing topic that we are talking about. They say that currently we are experiencing there is a transfer, or there is a movement, there is a shifting from the communication that has been there currently for the 500 years. That now the world is shifting in the way it's communicating, and we are moving into the digital space. So technology is very much in our homes. Actually, they say that there are more phones than there are toilets in every country. There are more phones than toilets that there are in every country. So it tells you how great technology is influencing our day-to-day life in these times. And going back to our conversation, which is the one thing, and there are things that causes us to run away, or things that pull us apart from the one thing. Technology is not left behind. And one of the things that has been affecting marriages. I wish there's a photo we shall show in the program about what people expected and what actually is. We shall show a photo during this program. And social media has been a crazy, crazy sensation when it comes to families, and especially for young people who are getting married nowadays, that they want to spend most of their time on social media. How has it affected the marriages? Shall we start here?
I mean, I thoroughly thank God for social media, because I wouldn't have met my husband without social media. I mean, I first went on Facebook in 2008. And I met him in 2008, so I believe I was meant to go on social media that year so that I could meet my husband. So I thank God for social media, but I also think there's, it can be very false. You find that people live their lives for social media. For example, they're just thinking about what photos to post, what to portray out there. So for me personally, I am a little bit, I'm caged and private on social media, but at the same time, I use it to drive the things that I want to drive. For example, I use it to share the videos I want to share, for example, about our church services, things like that. So I use it positively in the manner that I feel I should. So for example, for us, in our marriage, it doesn't come between us, but you can find that you're spending too much time on either Facebook or Instagram. So we check each other. If I feel he's spending too much time on social media, I would say so, but he's very quiet on social. He found his wife and then he went quiet. You never see him posting, liking, commenting on anything. I do all the social media and I come up and tell him, by the way, so-and-so has had a baby. I saw it online. He's like, I spend more time on social media than he does, although he's more technical than I am.
Okay. Sir James, I think for you it's a very good story.
Well, yeah, it's a good story. But for me, with social media, I really have taken a step back. I think because of, as we were talking about influencing the one thing, you find if you're not careful with it, it becomes what becomes like, it becomes part of your life day in, day out, such that you're not finding time to do other things out there. Like for me, I remember I had so many accounts. I had Twitter account, Instagram, I have all of them, Snapchat. But when you find yourself you're spending 2, 3, 4, 5 hours just scrolling, you're coming from Facebook, which now these days, they've made it even more addictive by the way you can keep scrolling and you find, a story which relates to something which is something you're doing. And then you come from there, you go to Twitter, you go to Instagram. And when you start seeing as a problem, that's when you have to take a step back. For me, I remember Pastor preached here one time and he said, especially the first thing you look at when you wake up, especially on your phone, that's what you're making your God. That's your God. Now, and I remember when Pastor preached that message and I thank him because for me, I remember I used to wake up. There's times I used to wake up and the first thing, Facebook. Not even the Bible. So I deleted it. And I remember that's when I started going quiet on social media because I found for me, it takes me over. And I decided, well, let the first app be, the first thing I open is the Bible. Ask my wife, she'll tell you. So when I wake up, that's the first app I'll open. And I'll read the scripture of the day. That makes a difference in my life. And it does take away, especially time factor. That's something which is very precious because you never get time back. Once it's gone, it's gone. So if it's wasted by you just scrolling up and down, and you're not learning anything, all you're doing is just having that, is it a dopamine effect where you feel the good effect? Like, oh yeah, you see something you like, you see something. Because that's all you're feeling is just giving you that effect and you're not helping yourself by you being in it. Then for me, I just go like, well, I'm out of it. I'm not going to do it. My Facebook, I check, I think, once a month. I have the fear of actually opening it. Because if I go, I may find myself there for an hour, and yet I've not done anything else. So it can influence the one thing if you're not careful. Because it can replace your spouse in terms of you may find you're reading stories or you're following things out there which they feed your mind, and especially they are negative if you're not careful. So you got to be careful what you're feeding your mind. And these days it's become extreme. I think with us like the Generation X, where we are lucky because we've grown both without and now we've come into it, because we didn't have phones. smartphones. We didn't have even mobile phones, the old ones. So we are the generation who are growing into it. And actually, they say we are the more responsible ones because we are the ones who have grown into it, rather than the born-in generation, the Xennials and the Millennials. And like for instance, our son, 2 years old, he can operate my phone. And he's 2 years. He's like, he go on YouTube, he is scrolling, he knows how to play, to pause, to skip ads. Now, this boy has not even gone to school. Yet for me, these are things I learned 10 years ago. So it just shows you how the gap is. But on the other hand, it's good because at the moment it's brought the world closer, it's brought the world home. You don't have to go to the world is right on your doorstep, it's right on your hand. So you want to learn what's happening in such a country, what's happening with such a person. So it just brings everything back to where you are. So you just got to balance and weigh out the good and the bad, and then, work it on from there.
Pastors.
I think to me,
Get your first account, Facebook. And how did it come about? Start there.
I've never, I just
Pastor Oni opened, not even him. It was actually Davy and Peter who opened an account for him last year when COVID hit. Pastor didn't have Facebook. And I think the year before, Tim had started his Instagram. Whatever Tim posted, it stayed there, never added anymore. And then the minute they opened Facebook, within 10 minutes, there were 9 inboxes from females to pastor. 9!
Oh.
That's the danger of social media. And even now, do you have control over it? No, he doesn't even know who posts.
I don't even know, but
Which is very dangerous.
But to me, I think one of the key things, and one of the things I believe, like James has said, and there's a place for it because it has helped us. Like now, even what Susan have said, there's positive way we can use the social media. But one of my fear is when it starts taking over. When you wake up in the morning and your first thing you do is to open social media, that tells me something has taken control. And that now, when it starts taking control, it go to a point where you see now you are spending hours on the social media. And it go to a point now, even to the point like, I can ignore my wife. That's what we're talking about now, taking that first thing. And I've seen even couples that, you are in the house and you are on social media and, visitors, you are together, but you are in one place, but you are not together. They normally say there are 2 things that define your value: how you spend time and how you spend your money. It's very, very important for us to be able, like in 24 hours, how many hours have I spent on the social media? How much money I have spent on this and one thing? Unless we are able to zero in to those 2 things, we will never be able to know what we value. The thing is this: we always live our tomorrow today, the choices and the decision I am making. And if I don't bring myself to evaluate how I'm spending my time and my money, all things are not created equal. They are not created equal. And when I think about even when the Bible talks about, and the 2 shall become one, coming back to one thing. When you look at that word, it means how it's weaving. And we live in season. We are changing, or we live in different season of our lives. And every season, there is a way that opened another part of my life that I did not know. And if I'm not very particular and focusing on the changes, I will not be able to weave in that season that we are together and we are not together. So one thing is this: the social media, how can we use it positively? And how can we be on top of things rather than being under the things, under the influence of what the social media is saying? And the other thing also is, what I hate about the social media is that people portray what they are not. And then I'm trying to do a catch-up game of a lie and something that I cannot keep up to. And that's why you find most of the time, sometimes we connect, sometimes we are living other people's life, And we did not even know many of the things. So not everything is permissible, is beneficial. I live my life. And I need to tell myself, and the other day, I'll bring this to a conclusion. The other day, I don't like even TVs and all those kind of things. And probably somebody may say I'm an age, but and I saw myself the other day, catching up a series. The other day I started, and then I saw, this thing is, I can't say here for 1 hour, 2 hours watching. No. In my season right now, I'm approaching 60 years. And
Hallelujah.
my 1 minute to me, probably is not like 1 minute to you. I'm very particular with every second I spend, because I will either spend time or invest in time or waste time. It's just like a 1 second on somebody who is in ICU. It's not just like 1 minute on somebody who is watching football.
Sorry, Pastor. Say that again. You will either spend time, invest in time, or waste time.
Waste time, yeah.
Very important. Sorry.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
So to me, at the season that I'm in right now, I'm very, very particular. I was telling my wife the other day, there's a friend of ours whom we lost, and it helped me to refocus and say, I know I work for God, but it called me to be more focused and more serious. I don't want to look behind and regret. I want to look life behind me and say, thank God for a well-spent life. And for me to do that, social media, I don't think going to help me for that in that area. Yeah.
For me, I enjoy social media, and so I do have like Facebook and Instagram, but I'm careful how, again, like Susan, what I use it for is more to do with what I'm passionate about. So it's about Higher Heights Church, it's about marriage talks, it's about seamless youth, the kids, things like that. I may acknowledge maybe my husband's birthday or my son's birthday, because those are important dates to us, or celebrate like Women's Day or something like that. So social media has its good and its bad, like anything. It has its ugly part and it has its lovely part. So the thing is, how it takes away from the marriage, it takes away from the one thing, is when one is choosing to spend more time on the screen than spending time with their other half, or with the other important people in your life. So if you allow your screen time to eat into the quality time that you're meant to be sitting down, you don't have discipline. You are seated at the table eating, but you're all watching TV, or you are all scrolling, It takes away from that, Everywhere you go, you want to take a picture, you want to post, you want to show everything you're doing. There is a falsity about it. So it takes over and it takes control. Now, we are not saying that social media or technology is bad. No, it has its rightful place and it serves a rightful purpose. Like, I get to connect with my family who are in Kenya. I get to connect with my family who are in US, in Australia. I get to, they can send me a message, they can send me a video. So it is very, very beautiful that I can call them up. It doesn't cost me anything. As long as I'm connected to Wi-Fi, I can chat to them. So it has its good part. But the thing is, what we are saying is, do not allow your screen time take away from the quality time that you should be spending with your spouse, or with your children, or with your family. The other thing is, you need to filter. You need to be careful and to filter what is necessary and what is unnecessary. So who are you following? How are they influencing you? What value are they adding to you? Are they helping you? You also need to be careful. What picture are you portraying out there? Right now, even sometimes when you're going for employment, they actually look at your social media handles.
Sure.
Yeah. The other day we were going to America and we were doing that visa thing. And they ask you, okay, it's optional that you add your Facebook or whatever. It's optional. But I thought to myself, a government is actually asking you, it's optional. But maybe they actually look at it. They know you leave a virtual footprint. So we have seen, life play out on social media for people. And you're not even there. You will know when they fell in love, when they fell out of love, when they argued, when they got a new car. And really, it takes away from the one thing. It takes away from the one thing. I think, I know we live an authentic life and our life is open, being leaders and pastors, but there's also what I guard. You may think you know me so much or you know what's happening in my marriage, but no, you don't. We have a very private side that not many people, even in Higher Heights Church, know it. Our children know it when they see us, you know. Even them, they don't know so much because there's what we allow. So social media, it's good, it's bad, but our cry is don't allow it to take away from the one thing. And what is that one thing? It's you and your husband, you and your wife. Work on that. Don't let it take away from you.
Wow.
Wow, this is an amazing topic. Yeah, I agree. Social media, it's a good thing. It can be a very good thing, and it can really cause a lot of mess in our families. It does not affect only families, but it goes beyond, even to your children, to your friends, to your place of work. It can really bring a lot of mess to your life. Like the other day, in our workplace, we are not allowed to use phone. But some people are very addicted to this until they cannot leave the phone down. I mean, they cannot keep it down. They have to walk with it. He's doing this and he's on the phone. And that's not a good thing. We need really to have control of it. Otherwise, it can cause a lot of distraction. It's good, you know, we are on social media and you can watch us, you learn from what we are sharing here. Our services have been on social media, especially in this lockdown season. People have been reached, the gospel has really gone very far, I think, more than any other time, I think. So it's a good thing if we can be able to use it in a right way. It can build our marriages if we use it in a right way, but it can destroy if we lose control, and we lose control. So we really need to be very careful. Yeah.
Wow. Yes, Mr. James.
I think I'll be very general on this because I'm not very technical. As you all know, I don't really count on technology as much as I know it's very good. As all of us have said, there's a very good side of technology and there's a very bad side of technology. And I believe that it's everything in moderation. You know, and for me, my wife always reminds me, increase the volume of your phone every day. I have to be reminded that. Keep your phone next to you. Somebody might call. To me, as you know, I've been with one phone from 2014. Can you imagine? Not that I don't want to change it, but I don't see any need of getting a new gadget or else spend money for. I've never called anybody and they told me that, what phone are you using? They always get me right. They always get the message right. I text them back. Nobody has ever asked me any question about the gadget that I use. And to me, it doesn't really matter a lot. My Facebook, my WhatsApp, I use them to spread the word. For those of you who have known me through the years, go to even the old Facebook, sometimes I forget the passwords and open another one. So I've opened several. So you can see James Nindungu, James Machurie, James somebody. I forget passwords and I open a new one. And I don't feel like there's any sentimental attachment to the one that I've lost. I can start a new one tomorrow. I delete stuff and redo them again. And you know something? I've realized that even Steve Jobs and Bill Gates himself, those guys are, I think, the fathers of technology in this age. But they discourage their children from using gadgets. They tell them to concentrate more on reading books, doing something in the kitchen, cooking, gardening, all those type of things. And you would expect that probably they would be the ones encouraging their children to use the gadgets that they have made. But they themselves know that these gadgets are dangerous. So you can imagine, like last night, I think we watched a clip with my family of a 90 person. The person you would have thought probably would have control over gadgets, but he doesn't. It was said that he's been addicted. He's been caught by the technology world, and he cannot be able to leave it. He comes into the house from work, spends a few minutes with the family as though he's passing, and then goes at the basement. He's made himself a gaming room where he goes there with his gaming stuff and does gaming until midnight, sometimes the whole night. The wife came down. We saw the wife coming down to say, my husband, I'm now going to bed. The man could not even look back to talk to the wife. He was just there on his thingy, doing stuff, and that is how bad it can get. These days, I didn't know there was something called sexting. I just heard it the other day. I thought it was just texting, and I realized there's something else where people just send stuff, images and stuff, man. I wouldn't like to find myself in such a world. There is no single time in the history of technology that young people are dying as much as now. Deaths have increased because of just technology. Once we start introducing them from the age of, sometimes like I saw Taji, 3 months or 4 months. He can, 8 months now, he can be able to connect with you on whatever, on the gadget. You can see, when you talk to him on the gadget, he can tell. The other time he disconnected us when we were praying in the morning. You remember? So that is 4:30 a.m. He disconnected us, and mom had to apologize. I said, sorry, my son touched on the gadget, and because he's trying to discover a few things here and there. But when we introduce our children to technology very early, I don't think it's a very good thing. I remember when we got our son his phone the first time, Pastor asked me, James, did you consider the effects and the dangers of giving your son a phone at this age? I think he was 12. Later, I've come to realize we wouldn't have given him the phone. I've withdrawn the airtime and everything, and he can't call you, but I can call him now. He goes to it just to hold it, just in case I call him. So it's charged, but it's me who calls him. He cannot call me back because I don't want to expose him to so much of the internet and stuff, and I get him destroyed altogether. I learned something as I finished from one of our parents, Enable Parents, that in his house, every gadget is charged at 30%. And then he takes the chargers away. And he tells the kids, take care of that 30%. If it goes off, you cannot recharge. So the kids are very careful. They use it for 2 minutes and then keep it down, do something else, because they want to maintain the charge until evening. And that is something we are introducing in our house as well. It's a beautiful thing, yeah.
That's a very good one. I will also apply.
Yeah. That does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But we are lucky as well with gadgets these days.
Yeah.
Most of them now are coming with parental controls, number one. And also, with the parental controls, you can be able to control how much time even a child can have on the screen. So basically, you can set and say for 2 hours only. And after 2 hours, it goes off until the next day where you've set when it has to start, because you give them a time period. And so you even specify what they can do. It's either reading a book online, or if they are going to watch something, it has to be, within their age limit. So you can minimize, these days at least, It's just a matter of doing more research and get some of the gadgets which are out there, which you can be able to even do it automatically. You don't have to be there, but it will limit now your children. But you still need to keep an eye and know what's going on.
I recently read somewhere that the Apple has come with an app that can help you to know the amount of hour that you spend on the social media.
Actually,
One has been there. Pastor Dino,
I
screen
did know.
time.
I did know. And I know, sometimes I tell my wife, my innocence protect me.
Yeah, it's true.
I was telling her, there is a world that exists. But just because you do not know, doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah.
But your ignorance or your innocence, it would prevent you. It's just like orchid world. It is there. But the reason why you don't experience it is because you have never, but it's there. And that's what God actually told Adam and Eve. Don't eat the fruit. Because when you eat the fruit, there is another thing that you'll be introduced to. It is already there. But the reason you are protected from it is because you have never ventured there, but it's there. And when I look into that if at all the apple themselves, even if it's been there, I just read it the other day, if it's the manufacturer themselves, know that you have to control the amount of hours you spend. That's exactly what God told Adam and Eve. Don't touch. And in this life, your freedom is not based on what you can touch, it's what you can be able not to touch. The discipline of saying that I can't do that. Freedom is not based on how much freedom you have, it's based on what you tell yourself, I will not do that. That is what true freedom is all about. And when I saw that, I said, wow, and the manufacturer is telling you don't spend too much time on this. And then we are giving ourselves more and more and more time in the social media. Wow.
Wow. We are still streaming this on social media.
Yes.
Because
We are using it positively.
because we are using it positively.
Yeah.
You may ask, why are you showing us this on social media while talking about social media? But one thing I've realized, I think when, as we are coming to a close, I think our directors are telling us our time is up. One question I would ask briefly. Is the social media silencing people? Because there's no communication now. We are in the house, but there is silence. The only thing you hear probably is music from the TV with the baby left there to watch it as the parents are on the other side. Has it brought silence in the house? Just briefly.
Yes, I agree. And that's why I said that it takes away from the quality time. It takes away from the one thing. And so you are like two strangers in the house. So you spend so much time online and you connect with people virtually, people who are not there. You know more about them, you're talking more to them, you're chatting more with them. Then the person who is right next to you, you are not chatting to them. And that's not healthy. That is very, very unhealthy. It's very toxic to a marriage. So, like we said, social media is not bad, but it's how we let it influence us and how we value it above other things. That is the danger. So the thing here is, like Pastor has said, discipline. Discipline. Because like James said, it's affecting our children, it's affecting our marriages. People now don't even know how to hold a decent conversation where you can disagree with your husband or your wife. You text each other.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So you are hiding behind a gadget. I want to tell you something, but I cannot tell it to you on your face. I would rather use a gadget. That's unhealthy. I believe face-to-face communication. So, yes, it is causing silence. On the other side, it's also very loud in the wrong way. So it's up to us to handle it with discipline and to filter what is not good, leave it out. What is good, keep it. Use it to your advantage. It's like we say, when we came to the UK, we are born and raised in Kenya. We come from a certain tribe. So there's a lot of cultural things that are very good from where I come from and how I was raised. Very good cultural things like respect, like honor, and things like that. But there are other things in my culture that are not necessary, that are not helpful to me. So I don't need to uphold them. I don't need to keep them. So again, social media, it's got its good, but it's also got its bad side.
All right. Someone made a joke one time and said that one time the husband's phone was charging in the kitchen, and the wife was scrolling through her phone. So because our antennas nowadays are so sensitive to the phone notifications, so when you hear kurudim, you want to run and see what is happening there. So because the wife knew that's how the husband is, so the husband's phone made a notification, and so the husband stood up and went to the kitchen and opened the phone and saw the wife asking for water. This is Higher Heights Church, where we love, serve, grow, and make a difference. This is Marriage Talks, where your marriages are restored, they are empowered, they are transformed, and surely they are strengthened, and they will come to our rest.